Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is July the 13th, 2021, and today the topic is balance. Recap on yesterday. Hey, I don't know, y'all. It's just pretty simple. I was just on the hustle from home kick. That's about it. Just posting throughout the day, and I guess it's all like a blur, to be honest. It's all a blur. It's like a combination of taking care of our son and just posting throughout the day, and sharing about my different business endeavors, checking up on stuff, seeing like how stuff is looking. Communicating with Elizabeth and trying to plan for future as much as I can. Shout out to the person that's watching me live. And so it's just a whole combination of things, which the interesting thing is, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, I think a good earthly example of what my mind looks like is either my phone or my laptop. Because you know how you can be on your phone and then you're doing so many things at one time and you have all these apps pulled up. That's my head. Same thing for my laptop. I can have all these different windows pulled up because I'm doing this, doing that, or whatever. Got some feedback, I want to say a few weeks ago about I guess the person was observing, or she was saying to me that I don't necessarily have, I guess, a clear direction or a clear vision or something. And I'm like, well, it doesn't seem that unclear to me, but I guess with me saying what I said earlier about, me and all these different windows in my head, or me and all these different windows on my phone or app or whatever the case is, that helps me to see like what my mind looks like. Maybe there may be some truth to that. I hear all the time people like, oh, you should focus on one thing or the other. And I guess that's what makes you successful or whatever. But then I guess the thing is, it's like, for me, these different tasks aren't necessarily strenuous for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing all these different things, even though I guess when people look from the outside in, it's like, oh, either it depends. It depends on their point of view of me. But it could be like, oh, they see it as not much, or they see it as too much. But for me, I'm like, it's, I guess because I give whatever time to whatever I'm doing, and then I do whatever the next task is, or whatever the case is, and sometimes things overlap, and sometimes they don't. And sometimes I still feel like I'm not doing enough. Like, I don't know if that, explains anybody else too, but, it's a whole combination of all that stuff and everything. So I guess it's interesting, because perhaps that thought, as well as, just knowing this morning, for example, I woke up at the sound of my alarm, and I was distracted pretty much the whole time. And I guess even now, to a certain extent, because I don't know if y'all heard that sound in the back of in my background. However, so I was kind of distracted before I started the prayer meditation, and so it was interesting that my prayer meditation was kind of around. Oh goodness, what was it? Now I just went away from my head. I don't know. But it was kind of like around, like, I guess, the same subject in regards to. You'll see the exact name of the topic when we share on Instagram today. But I guess that ultimately leads to the topic today, because after my prayer meditation, the word balance came into my mind, and so I looked it up. So here we go. Balance says an even distribution of weight, enabling someone or something to remain upright and steady. So, without even getting into the Bible, which I know we're going to do, it's like I already know the concept that, we definitely need balance. Like with me and everybody else, we all need balance. We can't just be leaning towards one thing or another, because too much of one thing or another can be bad, right? So it's like we need an even balance of, I guess, how we view life and whatnot. Or if the scale is going to tip in anyway, it needs to tip towards God, right? I'm just going to share with you guys what it says. So Matthew 6:33 says, "But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you." Now I don't know how people can view that, right? They can probably see that, well, that's not balanced then, because there's so many other things going on in life. But I guess for me, I start to wonder, like, well, how much do we really believe that verse, right? Like, how much do we, like, even myself, right? Like, why am I feeling, I'll admit I feel anxious sometimes, I'm feeling as if, okay, I need to make sure that I do my part, right? I don't know if it's my ambition or whatever the case is. And on one hand, I don't view it as a bad thing, but on the other hand, it's like, it can get to be too much. Because sometimes I have to slow myself down. That's why I say I have to take time to unwind. That's what I call it. I had to slow myself down sometimes mentally and just do either nothing or just clear my head or whatever, so then I can focus again on either tasks or things I come across or whatever the case is. And so balance, y'all, balance. Now Proverbs 16:11, it says, "A just balance and scales are the Lord's. All the weights in the bag are his work." The interesting thing is, as I was looking up verses around balance, a lot of it is in reference to this whole ideal of scales and everything like that. And I feel like that's something we need to go deeper about, right? And check out like what, how they were doing things back in the day. But even if we don't think about the actual physical weights of things or whatever the case is, I think we can still use these verses that talk about balance and whatnot to think about, again, how we handle situations, right? How we balance the things that we deal with in life. I don't know. These are just things that came into my heart and mind as I was reading and as I was trying to get some understanding of this. And so, I guess that's just something to marinate on today. Now, let me see. Another verse I want to share with you guys is Proverbs 11:1. It says, "A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight." And again, let me keep going to Proverbs 20:23. It says, "Unequal weights are an abomination to the Lord, and false scales are not good." So, again, that's something to think about there. Yes, I know that they were, again, there when it came to, I guess, weighing different things at that time, that I guess that's where this example stems from. However, how can I relate that to me, right? I guess that's the question. It's like, how can I, or hopefully you're asking yourself this question. How can I relate this to me and my experience of life? So again, it's like, a lot of times, at least in my observation, and even with myself, a lot of times I tend to make God the last resort. At least I could say I've done that over the years. Maybe I'm trying to be better about that now, but a lot of times it's like, okay, I'm thinking about this, I think about that. I talk to friends, I talk to my family. I'm like, who can I, I'm all over the place. And then I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm sorry. What you want me to do? But what that first verse say, right? It says that we need to seek first the kingdom of God, and then all the things will be added unto us. So it's like the things that we worried about and we allowed to hold more weight than our trust in God, the more that we're, there's no balance. Hey, I'm talking to myself today, y'all. And I just hope that it helps and encourages you, whoever you are. I don't know if that's the same person that's watching me live, but hey. But anyway, y'all, just something to think about. Something to think about there. Let me see. Job 31:6. It says, let me be weighed in a just balance, and let God know my integrity. Ooh, yes. Yes. I guess that's the, maybe that should be all of our prayer today, that, that we're weighed in a just balance, not one of those balances trying to cheat, but a just balance, and then, let God know our integrity at the end of the day. And I guess how will he know? I guess the more we trust in him is what I'm gathering today by what I've read and observed this morning during this juice situation. I hope that encourages you and inspires you on today. Now, the interesting thing is the Bible verse of today is to me, it kind of goes hand in hand with this whole thing in a way as well, at least with that last verse I just said. And it's Psalm 139:23 through 24. It says, search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. Friends, I hope y'all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, with the Lord's will. Bye-bye. If you like what you hear, then consider supporting our podcast. Every listener that supports us for $9.99 a month will be entered into our monthly raffle for a chance to win a free gift. So become a supporter today.